Stress. It seems like it's everywhere, and it seems like it's all the time. It's affecting the quality of our lives. We all have ways of avoiding stress, but are they healthy? Has your body got your attention yet? There is a natural, safe, less painful, and relatively quick healing process that's reaching into people's old genetic programming and releasing it, and freeing them. It's called Rapid Eye Technology. Rapid Eye Technology is an alternative healing program which provides for ocular-assisted release and is characterized by systematic movement of eyes and eyelids, rapid verbal communication, and special imageries that affect a release of stressful emotions on many levels of human experience. It provides education or life skills based upon simple principles for successfully managing and understanding life.
Rapid Eye Technology will change your quality of life. Hello, I'm Claudia Bianca, Master Rapid Eye Technician, and I've had a practice since 1992. Rapid Eye Technology not only changed my personal life, it also gave me a new career. I'm here today with Dr. Renee Johnson, the founder of Rapid Eye Technology. She has also authored 2 books, Reclaim Your Light Through the Miracle of Rapid Eye Technology and Winter's Flower, Kelton's Story of Autism. She is also the director of the Rapid Eye Institute. Welcome, Dr. Johnson.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for being with us today. Tell us more about this healing process, Rapid Eye Technology.
Well, the Rapid Eye Technology is a stress relief technique that simulates your REM sleep. When you're asleep at night, your eyes are moving back in a neurolinguistic pattern. It's moving back and forth and hitting all the different modalities. And the eyes are kind of blinking, you know, fluttering. If you've ever watched a little baby where it flutters. And you're processing all the trauma that you had during the day, actually processing everything you thought or did during the day. And if there was anything at all that was traumatic that happened, that was life-threatening, the brain actually puts a message in there not to process that, and it's held what we call in a trapped trauma. And that trapped trauma stays there, kind of protected, until you get some kind of a trigger. And it could be a song or anything that happened. It could be something that was going on in the environment. It'll open that file and it'll start to make people more angry than they should be, or you cry and you don't know why, things like that. And when we do the Rapid Eye simulation, what we're doing is we're opening those files in a REM sleep state, but the conscious mind is really awake. It's a wakeful state.
So when the conscious mind is awake and available, we can create change.
We can. The conscious mind can now make new decisions, new choices.
It was interesting coming down here this morning. I had a trapped trauma. I needed to write something down, and I couldn't understand why I was resisting writing something down. And immediately my brain went back to a time when I was 16 and I wrote something down, and then I got in trouble for it. It was so, we were laughing about it on the way here, just going, oh, we love Rapid Eye.
Well, that's what happens in Rapid Eye, because the mind will say, oh, that kept me alive when I was 5 years old, but I don't need it now, and it just lets it go real quickly.
Worked for me when I was 16, was not working for me this morning. What are some of the tools that we use in Rapid Eye Technology?
Well, we have an eye directing device that we use to direct the eyes. We use visualization with the REM sleep. We use, we're actually doing a whole process. We're working on the whole body. So there's 19 different movements of the eyes and techniques. And we're working on the whole system. So we're not just working in one area, but we're working on the whole neural pathway that goes into the cell memory. So we do body learning so that people don't recreate out of habit, that they actually retrain their body. We put new information in.
Is that where the visualization and the imagery comes in?
And through life skill classes.
Okay, good.
New information.
Where did it actually come from? Where did Rapid Eye come from? What made you think of this?
Well, years ago, I had an autistic child, and that was 38 years ago. Anyway, there wasn't anything available, so you just tried one thing after another. I went the whole gamut of the doctors and the drugs and alternative things, everything I could imagine. Finally opened up a school for autism in California, Fountain Valley, California, and worked for 5.5 years with autistic kids, trying one thing after another. So we kind of threw away what didn't work and kept what did. And years later, when to develop the Rapid Eye, I noticed there was a lot of tools and things that I knew worked with the mind and the brain that kind of come into that.
Your story of Kelton and the autism and the development of Rapid Eye is in the book Winter's Flower.
It's more his story, but it also, you know, led to the Rapid Eye technology.
Every time I think parenting is tough, I think of reading Winter's Flower, and I go, I had it easy.
Well, it's a good book for not only the Rapid Eye, but for autism, but it's also a good book for anybody that has any problem with a child, because there's a lot of his problems covered a wide range of attention deficit and hyperactivity and all kinds of things. So,
good. How does Rapid Eye work in the body? What is it that it teaches us? What are we learning to balance?
Well, of course, all of our problems go back to how we feel about it, you know, the emotional charge. So if you had some kind of abuse early in your childhood or some trauma that's trapped in there, once we go back there and let go of the emotional charge, then it's just a story, and people can process it and let it go and move on in their life.
So the difference between a trauma and a memory is the emotional charge, and Rapid Eye helps to really. Okay, good. You talked a little bit earlier, you just barely mentioned an eye directing device. What do you use that for?
The eye directing device vibrates very quickly, so that you're giving the left brain and the right brain thousands of messages for left brain to talk to right brain. And so the faster you go, the more messages the brain gets to communicate.
Okay.
So we're doing the auditory, and then we do memory, which is up this way. It's when you look at when you want to remember something, you look up and think, oh, what was that?
And so memory's up over here.
So you look up.
Okay.
So we do auditory, and we'll feed the brain a lot of different information and tell it to go to the core issue, and it will, because anytime you move a fast-moving object in front of someone's eyes, it puts them in an alpha-theta brainwave state.
So kind of like a candlelight, watching the flickering candle flame, or sitting in front of a fireplace?
Similar, but very different, because you're only staying there for a little while and you're telling it to release, and you're moving to another modality. So the body has stored things in all these modalities. It's stored things in auditory that we heard, in memory that we couldn't forget, in visual that we've seen, all the times we recreated it, all the feelings we had about it. And so the wand directs the eyes and the brain to those different modalities. Gives them a lot of emotions, a lot of possibilities of things being there, and then tells them each modality to release. And so what we're doing is we're working on the whole neural pathway at once, but we're working on it so quickly and changing state so fast that it's like eating an elephant a bite at a time. You take the whole trauma, and then you work on a little bit here and a little bit there, and then you keep doing it over and over and over until pretty soon the whole trauma has released.
So when you're talking to somebody and you're talking about these modalities, when someone is looking at a picture, their eyes tend to go up. And then when they're talking about a feeling, their eyes tend to go down.
Yeah, you always look down when you don't feel good.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, great. What do we get in contact with Rapid Eye technology that really makes the change?
You go right to the core issue first. The old model that we used to do in psychotherapy is to chain back, and we go right to the core issue. And because you're in a suggestible state, you'll do that. The client will do that. You go right to the core issue, and then you release it quickly. But when you get into the neural pathway you're working on, all the times you were angry through your whole life, or all the times that you felt sad, or all the times that you've recreated that pattern, and you're working on it a little piece at a time, over and over and over, until the whole thing the emotional charge is released.
Dr. Johnson, what is it that keeps us trapped in these traumas? What is it? What are we forgetting?
It's the body's mechanism to survive. Probably years ago, that kept us alive. but it doesn't keep us alive anymore. Those trapped traumas really get in our way.
It would be nice to be able to turn around and look at our life and even love some of the traumatic memories.
Well, it really becomes a gift after you take the emotional charge out, because you look at all the things that you've learned from that.
And where it brought you.
Where you've come from. But as long as the emotional charge is in there, we can't forgive ourselves or others. We are constantly replaying it. Constantly.
We're still hooked. We're still hooked into it.
And this takes it away quickly, real quickly. So you go through a lot of trauma, trapped trauma in a session.
There's so much education that you do as part of Rapid Eye Technology. There's so many things that I know I learned through Rapid Eye that I had never even been exposed to before.
Now you know a little bit about Rapid Eye Technology and the people who developed it. But you might be asking, how does it work? Dr. Joseph Bennett explains the physiology of Rapid Eye Technology.
Let's look at some of the processes that you may experience and why they seem so effective. Rapid eye simulates, in an awake state, a condition of sleep known as rapid eye movement, or REM sleep, that you do every night during your dreaming sleep. The eyes move rapidly under the eyelids, and the eyelids blink or reflex as though they were blinking while you sleep. REM sleep is our way of processing and integrating our day's experiences. Without REM sleep, we'd go insane in a very short time. We must dream to stay alive. It's our natural discharge mechanism. So what's happening in the body as all this brainwave activity is happening? Let's look at the brain for just a moment and see what kind of processes are involved and how. First and most obvious are the eyes. They open, they close, they blink, they move laterally up and down and around, they tear. All this activity at the eye is controlled in the center of the brain by a mechanism known as the lateral geniculate nucleus. I'll call that the LGN for short. This part is attached to the emotional limbic system, the emotional part of you. So what happens is that you see something with your eyes, it's processed in the middle of your brain with the limbic system, which is your emotional part of you, and then it's passed to the rest of the brain for processing. The really exciting part about that is that you're never really looking at what you see. You're looking and feeling about what you see. That's why sometimes you can look right at something and not see it, because you're feeling something about it. The other very wonderful part about this center of your brain in the limbic system attached to your eyes is that we can look at your eyes and determine that something's going on inside. What's more is that when you feel emotion, your eyes will blink, tear, they'll move, the iris color can change, the pupil can change. All of this can happen in response to emotion. As we initiate the rapid eye with the rapid blinking, what happens is that we fire up this emotional part of your brain. By doing so, we can call up memories by verbal input, by giving them a name. As we give these a name through the auditory parts of our brain, which, by the way, are connected to the same areas in the limbic system before they're processed, you get to call up all of those memories that are hidden because they're so deep within us. So with a rapid eye session, what it looks like is that you blink your eyes very rapidly. And as you blink your eyes, you turn on the emotional parts of your brain. By speaking very rapidly the emotional words, you give those parts a name, and you call them forth to see and hear and release. It's all part of your natural discharge mechanism.
Initializing your emotional system is critical to the process of Rapid Eye Technology. To begin the process, your technician will initialize your spiritual healing system with a physical technique known as neurological integration, or as some people call it, bonding. The process of neurological integration is a relatively new technique. It has been with man, however, since the beginning of time. It was first developed by Dr. Kenneth Fabian, utilizing the psychological bond between the eyes, the brain, and the pineal gland. These and other brain functions normally bond or make mature connection within the first 60 to 90 days of life. Normally, the integration process occurs naturally between mother and child as she gazes into the eyes of the infant. However, in our fast-paced society, because of limited extended contact between mother and child, those important integration moments happen rarely, if at all. If the integration or bonding process doesn't happen naturally, we live with these emotions without understanding how to deal with them, so we stuff them. We choose not to feel anything because feeling is too painful. When neurological integration occurs, the upper-level brain makes complete communication with the lower or primary brain. This, in effect, joins or bonds the physical brain with the emotional and mental brains. Neurological integration is a valuable key which unlocks the door to your ability to remember the child within and provide it a safe place to feel and to be, and also helps you process emotion and trauma on a more mature level. Neurological integration should only be performed by a fully trained rapid eye technician. The basic procedure for neurological integration is that you sit face-to-face with the technician, knees nearly touching. The technician will ask you to remove your eyeglasses, contacts, and refrain from chewing gum or engaging in any other behavior that may distract you. The technician will tell you to gaze intently into his or her left eye. The technician will then instruct you to relax and clear your mind of all thoughts. The technician will look deeply into your eyes and locate that perfect infant within you while you continue to gaze intently into the technician's left eye. The technician will continue to gaze intently into your eyes until he or she notices a jump in the pupil. This jump is an indicator to the technician that the integration has occurred. While being still, the technician will gaze intently into each of your eyes. You may notice the technician's pupil may dilate. This is normal. The gaze is held for a short while so you will have time to integrate and begin to experience your own deep emotion. You are now ready for the next step in rapid eye technology.
We use an eye directing device referred to as a wand. The wand is vibrated rapidly in a fashion that speaks to all the modalities of the mind, stimulating the REM sleep.
And you have a community service program, don't you, at the Institute, involving life skills. Can you share more about that?
The 7 principles of life skills interact in our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual state. The first principle is thought. All energy follows your thoughts. We create all of our own thoughts. The second principle is perception. Based on those thoughts, we see ourselves differently. Not that it's right or wrong, it just simply is. So we learn to grant people being where they are. Third is the principle of cause and effect. Whatever thoughts or energies you put out come back to you multiplied. Fourth, the principle of free will and accountability. Everyone has a choice, and you can choose to get your power back. The principle of abundance is next. You know the universe is designed to give abundance. When a seed is planted, it returns in abundance. The sixth principle is the principle of health and healing. To honor and nurture our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual being. And finally, the principle of harmony and rhythm, creating balance in your life and being in tune with the universe. This principle embodies and integrates all of the first 6 principles. Your success will be directly related to your ability to not only understand, but also to implement higher life skills. As you become familiar with these principles of growth, you will see greater value in rapid eye technology.
We teach the life skills in 9-week segments, and they're free to the community. And
so a person doesn't have to be a client of Rapid Eye or a technician. Okay.
Community comes in, they love the life skills. A lot of people repeat them several times.
I'm excited about Rapid Eye. It seems to offer so much to so many. Tell us more about the research. How much research has been done?
Well, we did about 10 years of research before we started training, but there's ongoing research for the last 20 years. Serenity Lane is doing research on drug and alcohol with Rapid Eye. And
how long has that been going on?
About a year, I think. They're going to do a 5-year study.
Wonderful.
And then we have a medical doctor who is doing Rapid Eye, using Rapid Eye right in his office, watching it, research with clients to patients to for crisis management. So there's a lot of things going on. A lot of chiropractors have the Rapid Eye in their facility because they do a whole program. So everything is being taken, they're taking a good look at it.
Good.
How it goes with everything. And that's the nice thing about Rapid Eye is it does go well with every modality, whether it's massage or acupuncture or more traditional healing methods.
So it sounds like something that all practitioners can use.
It really is a great tool.
Yeah.
Anytime emotion comes up, this releases it very quickly and gets right to the core issue. So you can imagine it goes with a lot of things.
I know in my practice I have found through all the clients that they'll come to me and they'll be like, I've tried everything.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried everything,
right.
and I'm still here. And to watch them unfold and
mm-hmm.
move through something that they've been stuck in for so long has truly been a miracle.
It really is. It's so exciting, such an exciting work to have people call you and tell you, this changed my life in just a few sessions.
And you can see the change
mm-hmm.
on them instantly.
Yes, you can.
That's what's so fun.
There's a resolution in almost every session for
Yes.
most people.
What does it teach my body?
It teaches and balances you on a physical, emotional, and mental, spiritual levels. It's the body, well, for example, we've had people that come in with disabilities,
mm-hmm.
and we don't exactly work on disabilities, but we work on trauma,
okay.
and then all of a sudden their body will heal the disability.
Are some of us just really stuck in the physical, and we believe,
mm-hmm.
okay,
mm-hmm.
and we kind of ignore the rest?
Our bodies and our minds are tools, actually.
Mm-hmm.
We use the body to ride around in and to feel and experience life, and we use our mind as a tool to think and solve problems. And I think sometimes as human beings we get stuck in the mind or the body, and we start thinking that that's all there is, and that we are a body or we are the mind. And we really are more than that. And the premise of Rapid Eye is that we are spiritual beings, that if you get quiet enough and listen to your body and your mind, you'll go beyond that to a place where you're just listening, and they become your counselors instead of processing and running your life.
Sometimes in my life I think I refer to that as a place of knowing.
Uh-huh.
That's what Rapid Eye has given me, is taken me to that place where I just know.
And it's easier to live in the now after Rapid Eye, because
mm-hmm.
you're not always walking backwards thinking about your past, or you're not always worried about what your future is going to be. You're living your life right now. Because if you're always concerned about your past or your future, you miss your life. You really do.
Life's important.
Uh-huh.
Life's important, and it's that balance of the spiritual, the physical, and the emotional, and the mental that makes it seem so much easier.
Right.
It's like I'm using the whole tool now instead of just half of it.
Well, Rapid Eye is really a lot of energy work. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Energy going through the body and releasing from the body.
Mm-hmm.
We really are made up of energy. Everything about us is just energy.
It's amazing we've learned so much about this in the last few years, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It really is.
It's exciting. It's very exciting. It really changes people's lives.
It does, and we have people always ask about, well, what does this work on? And it works on anything that's stress-related,
mm-hmm.
which is about everything. Because you have stress about any dis-ease in the body that you have, and it will help the body to heal itself better. That's what it does.
How long do the results last?
Well, it depends on how trapped people are in holding on to their pain.
Okay.
A lot of people hold on to their pain because they don't want to lose their disability, or they'll hold on to their pain because they get a lot of attention. And you can't go against anyone's free will with Rapid Eye. They have to really want to heal.
So it's really a process of self-empowerment. They really do get to a place
uh-huh.
where they can choose their life. They can choose which way they want to go.
Absolutely. Self-empowerment. And there are a lot of things, once you learn Rapid Eye, you have a lot of tools that you can take care of yourself. So you don't always have to be running to the therapist. Even though it's good to come back and have a maintenance session once in a while.
I call it a tune-up.
Right.
I'm still doing tune-up.
Life keeps on lifing, so
Yes.
you do need to. New issues will come up, new traumas.
Dr. Johnson, on behalf of clients and technicians everywhere, thank you so much for creating this process that truly enables us to love ourselves and others. It really is a miracle. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.